From the pages of MikeHuckabee.com, a safe haven from looting, larceny, and liberal lies, here's a look back at another week in law and disorder. And by the way, you can have my insights delivered right to your email inbox twice a day. All you got to do is sign up for my totally free newsletter. No looting is necessary. You can get it for free. Well, in his long-awaited testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee, former Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein's strategy was to present himself as someone who trusted his colleagues to give him correct information. So much so, he didn't bother to read every word of the FISA applications before he signed them. You see, Rosenstein has to play Sergeant Schultz or admit to being an active participant in the plot to take down President Trump through the phony Russia investigation. Senator Lindsey Graham asked Rosenstein the $64,000 question of the day. If you knew then what you know now, would you have signed the warrant application? Rosenstein responded, no, I would not. Now Democrats say these hearings are being held just to weaken Trump's opponent, sleepy Joe Biden, ahead of the election coming up in November. But trust me, if this were about Biden, we'd have plenty to investigate him for, and it wouldn't be pretty. There's going to be plenty of time for that after Trump gets reelected anyway. And in news that shouldn't be overshadowed as the country faces protest plagues and mass unemployment, the president signed an executive order reasserting that religious freedom is a moral and national security imperative, and religious freedom for all people worldwide is a priority for the United States, one the administration will respect and vigorously promote. That executive order should be nailed to every lamppost in California. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, I hope you'll consider clicking the subscribe button below, also the notification bell that's next to it. And if you're enjoying the video, and of course you are, consider leaving a like and a comment as well. Well, let's take a look at what's on your mind. We go to our My 2 Cents at TBN.TV mailbox where you can send in your 2 cents. Keith Bilbrey is standing by, and he's going to tell us what's at the top of the list and bring our questions.
Well, all right. Barry, in the Show Me State, police arrested 36 people on suspicion of trespassing, burglary, causing property damage, stealing, and assault. Circuit Court Attorney Kim Gardner released them all back into the street. What kind of message is that sending to those rioting and to nervous citizens?
Well, Keith, I'll tell you the answer it's sending to them. Go ahead and keep doing it. I mean, if there's no consequence for behavior, you keep engaging in the behavior. We learned this by raising kids. When you reward a behavior, you get more of it. And when you consequence a behavior, you get less of it. If you don't like rioting, if you don't like looting, if you don't have the idea that throwing bricks through a plate glass window and stealing stuff out of a store is a good idea, consequence the behavior, you'll get less of it. If you think it's a great way to build a civil society and a wonderful way to make a community you'd like to live in, then simply reward the behavior by looking the other way, and you're going to get more of that behavior. It's frankly as simple as that. What else we got tonight?
Well, Douglas and Springfield, Ohio. 2 perspectives related to the death of George Floyd. 1, police officers are unfair in their treatment of African Americans. 2, African Americans are violent and have no respect for the law. Is there any truth to either perspective?
But those are both gross generalizations, neither of which are true. First of all cops aren't bad cops. There are some that are, and we need to get rid of them. And when they do something criminal, as what happened to George Floyd, and that was simply murder that we all saw and were disgusted and sickened by it, of course there needs to be accountability in the criminal court system, because that was a criminal act against a man who had no reason to be murdered like that. It's also unfair to say that all people of one race, I don't care what race it is, have all the same ideas. That's a generalization. That's prejudice, and it's bigotry at its worst. There's no such thing as to say that all people of a certain color, all people of a certain ethnicity, all people of a certain even religious faith are exactly alike and think alike. That is demeaning, not just to the people of that particular group, it's demeaning to all of us. Okay, Keith, what's next?
Well, Carol at Gmail writes, it would be great if you created a show where families of different races eat dinner together at a neighborhood restaurant struggling with reopening and the riots. Help people grow together and help small businesses in need.
That may be one of the best suggestions I've ever heard. Now, it's part to bring bridges of friendship and relationship and to show that people can get along, and in part because Keith and I both like to eat dinner at nice little neighborhood restaurants. So that is a great idea. Maybe we'll talk TBN to doing it as a reality series. And I volunteer, and I think Keith does too. Don't you, Keith?
I'm with you right
I thought
there.
you would be.
Well, Kathy in Ludlow, Illinois, I truly enjoyed the Cowsills on the show. I haven't heard the Cowsills sing I Love the Flower Girl since I was a teenager in the 60s and found myself singing along, as did we. Surprisingly, the words came easy and it gave me joy as it brought me back to fond memories of my youth. Thank you, Mike.
And thank you for the kind words. Let me tell you, so the Cowsills were wonderful guests. We loved them. They were so much fun. Musically, they're terrific. Great harmonies. But I wish you could have been with us the whole time they were here in the rehearsals and backstage, because not only did they show that wonderful energy and talent on stage that you saw on television, but we had a chance to hang out with them, and I can't wait to get them back. They were absolutely delightful in every way, so much fun, and I'm like you. Their songs bring back so many great memories, and gosh, I hope we get them back soon. Don't you, Keith?
Oh, I'd love to see him back.
Yeah.
Do some more of those big hits. Charles in PERRIS, California. I've only recently started viewing your YouTube videos, but I'm saying you're one of the best among patriotic commentators. Now, for the reason I'm writing, I hope and pray that you're currently planning to run for president in 2024.
I can assure you that ain't happening. Not going to happen, my friend. No, I am done running for office. I've had wonderful experience doing it. Won a whole lot more elections than I lost, but I lost enough to tell me it's time to stick to the TV show, which I plan to do, and I hope to be doing that well past 2024. So thanks for the kind words. Thanks for the encouragement. But I hope you can just enjoy the Huckabee Show here on TBN. Well, we're going to add this from the Twitterverse, where you can follow me at GovMikeHuckabee. We have an array of stories, starting with a boo-ray for Hollywood, where celebrities like Jane Fonda, America Ferrera, and Brie Larson are supporting the call to defund the police. They've even signed an open letter from Black Lives Matter. Now, the letter requests that governments quit increasing police budgets and instead redistribute those funds to spend on health care, neighborhood infrastructure, and education to support communities across the country, particularly Black communities. Well, let me be the first to say that I am for health care reform, improving neighborhood infrastructure, and more effective education. But why not continue providing police protection with reform in that area as well? Many people are also calling out for wide open mail-in voting rather than citizens having to go to the polls. Now, it's strange to me that people are fine going to the grocery store, gas station, or Walmart and shopping with social distance, but there's some great fear being cast for polling places. Here's an idea. Why don't we get people to try mail-in rioting over the traditional forms that we've been experiencing across the country? You can mail in your brick and let someone else artificially throw it for you. And send in some matches, and we'll pretend that we're going to burn something down. Well, finally, before we go, a question was raised this week by lifenews.com. Why was it acceptable for President Bill Clinton to show a Bible in front of St. John's Cathedral in Washington, D.C., but not President Trump? Was it the era? Perhaps the color of the Bible? Or was it the president and his political affiliation? Well, one good result of President Trump's picture was that he got Nancy Pelosi and Governor Cuomo both reading the Bible this week. Let's hope each and every one of us keeps turning those pages and considering the wisdom in them. But remember this, there's power in the words of Scripture that many of us shy from. As the great philosopher Soren Kierkegaard said, the Bible is very easy to understand, but we Christians are a bunch of scheming swindlers. We pretend to be unable to understand it because we know very well that the minute we understand, we are obliged to act accordingly. May the Bible do more than be held up in someone's hands. May it become the measuring stick of our lives and how we measure others. So until we meet again, these have been the facts of the matter. Now, if you're seeing this, I know you've enjoyed that video. I mean, how could you not, after all? So you know what you should do? Leave a like, click on the subscribe button below, and hit the notification bell next to it so you'll always know when I have another video up for you to enjoy.